point, as the driver is going a little bit slower versus the freeway, wouldn't it be easier?
Police pursuit in Phoenix.
It would be easier. Unfortunately,
44th Street
traffic at this time of day.
and the highway.
And you may have some pedestrians in the area as well. So you have to be careful with their well-being as well. But generally, you do want to try and make a good stop at a location that we can control, which makes it easier for the pedestrians or vehicles that are around there as well. So it's more of a choosing of where the driver wants to go, or maybe dump the vehicle.
Looks
as well.
like they've
They
got undercover vehicles
Mike,
following
you
it,
can-
so it's
are
a
you
stolen
watching our
vehicle
signal right now?
or a
No, I
murder
don't.
warrant,
Yeah, there's
or a
three
high
dark, it looked
high
like
felony warrant.
many vans or buses, all the same model.
This is a
behind this
pursuit
guy. I'm just
going on
wondering
in Phoenix.
if those could be undercover vehicles.
And in front as well.
Yeah, they may very well be. They may try and stop the vehicle
Yeah,
with the
'cause
blocking maneuver.
Yeah, and there's also one right in front of the silver car right now, which is the car that's been fleeing all day. So maybe this is the point where they
They've
try to
been
box this
pursuing this
person in
vehicle all day.
and bring this to a close before they can get back on the freeway.
Yeah, if they can do it safely, that's what they'll try and utilize.
And obviously they're going a lot slower than before, and perhaps it's because the driver does feel a little trapped as these same kind of vehicles surround it.
Yeah, and now the driver is going past a lot of those cars, coming up on an intersection, and you start to worry about the driver acting erratically or desperate and doing something stupid that would endanger someone else. You're watching this in real time, just as
Undercover
we're bringing it to you,
vehicles
so
are following
bear
it.
with us as we try to bring you this information. And now the driver is headed back east on McDowell, was headed west on
East
McDowell,
on
and they got off by
McDowell.
the freeway. So on
44th
McDowell, if they
Street
head
and
eastbound,
McDowell.
they can hop back on the freeway at any point, and that may be what this driver is trying to do.
Yeah, they may be trying to get away from those vehicles that are next to it, and hopefully that they'll be able to box them in and hopefully stop that vehicle.
Yeah, well, at this point, it doesn't look like perhaps maybe those vehicles were involved in this chase because now that silver sedan has gotten quite far away from them,
Right.
as it's still traveling on McDowell. So maybe perhaps it was just,
Yes,
you know,
they
looked
were
like a big
involved.
coincidence. But
They're just
right
backing
now, again,
off
coming up on
because this
404,
guy might be
it is
dangerous.
busy on the streets as people are headed home from work. You hope that this vehicle doesn't get back on
He's
the
gonna
freeway
pull a
again,
Yui.
because it at this hour would probably be very heavily congested.
Maybe.
But as it comes up on this light,
He's
there's
leaving
no
his
telling
options
what
open.
could happen.
Yeah.
See, there's the
32nd Street
undercover
and
right behind
McDowell,
him.
headed eastbound right now and stopped at the light.
And we see
So now here are those vehicles again that we saw before. You can see that dark colored van and the driver doing a U-turn on McDowell, now headed back westbound.
Look at all those
saw
undercover
the
vehicles
same driver
right there. Undercover police vehicles.
That driver may have been somewhat spooked as far as seeing those same vehicles as well.
Yeah, yeah. But at some point, the driver's going to make a wrong turn, wind up on a street with no outlet. We know that there are a lot of streets that, are just residents and they're not through streets, and that's where this thing could come to an end. We're not sure. But you're watching our live coverage right now on a Friday afternoon. This silver car you're looking at, live pictures coming from Sky 12, has been up and down the freeway today and the 202
Yep,
all the
Mrs.
way out
Cobra
to
is
East
right.
Mesa.
They
all
have
the
a
way back
helicopter
west,
on 'em.
Got off at the airport.
So
and
the
is now on
officers
McDowell
don't have
Road,
to
headed
be
eastbound
right
once
on
again
his
after being
ass.
westbound for quite a while on McDowell. Well, at
He
last
must
check,
be a
the driver
dangerous
was at
person,
32nd
otherwise
Street
they would have pit
on
maneuvered
McDowell.
him or
And
something.
we're working on finding out, what exactly precipitated this pursuit, which is an important component of the police chase. To find out if it was some sort of a violent criminal behavior, or as Mike mentioned before, perhaps just a traffic situation where the driver didn't want to stop. We don't know at this point, and we don't know if there's anyone else in the car.
Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah, that's the.
Go ahead, Mike.
That is the unknown. We really don't know what
They
what
chased
caused
him from
this
over
incident to
here
occur,
in the
and
East
also
Valley
who
all the
and
way to Phoenix.
what happened and who's in the car as well.
I'm wondering, when police are trying to pursue a vehicle, especially during a high-speed chase, how difficult and how do they try to, make their move into a vehicle like this, especially on city streets? I mean, how do they know, where the vehicle is headed in order to get in front of it to try to stop it?
Yeah.
What is the strategy behind this?
In general, you want to try and figure out the best place to make that stop that's not going to involve any other citizen and or pedestrian, and do it as safely as possible. And those are the choices that have to be made in this type of situation, is in split seconds, just to make that possible stop.
We were mistaken before. We thought that the driver was headed eastbound on McDowell, and actually Thomas, the driver was actually headed westbound and then got off onto the 51 and is now southbound on the 51.
He's southbound on the 51.
And at some point very
Headed
soon,
to the
the
I-10.
driver is going to be faced with getting on the 10 eastbound or westbound.
Yeah, which is very messy around that area.
Yeah, I think they realize that as well, so they may continue going southbound as well.
Yeah, because when you're going southbound on the 51, then you kind of have to merge over to the 10 freeway. That gets a little messy, and there's a bottleneck there. There's just no telling where.
He's being dragged out of the car right now.
And that was the guy who was wearing a red shirt. That was the driver of the vehicle.
Boy, you called it, Tran. I did not see that.
They got him
driver's
stopped.
on the ground right now, being put in cuffs, and this appears to be over.
It doesn't look as though there's anybody else in the
They
vehicle.
used
No.
a grappling strap, grabbed his tire,
Thank God no
stopped
one
him,
was injured.
pulled him out of the car.
Seems to be just a textbook perfect stop. The grappler works the way it's supposed to work. Police in unmarked vehicles surround the vehicle that was being chased. The canine, they break open the passenger side door,
Pepper balls.
send the canine in, and now, with no one being hurt, the driver is in cuffs.
Yeah, this is Phoenix PD's Special Assignments Unit officers. They trained for this multiple times, just to make sure that they did this exactly right, which they did.
Well, our next job, and we'll be reporting this information as soon as we get it here on 12 to all of our viewers, is to tell you why this driver was being pursued. Retired Phoenix Police Commander Mike Para, thank you so much for your expertise. You really helped us.
They have him in custody.
Understand what was unfolding
They
live
stopped
here
him with the
afternoon.
grappling
You're welcome.
hook that
Thanks
grabs
so
the
much.
tire with a
We'll be
strap.
right back with more
Stopped
First
him.
and Four.
They shot at the
Well,
tire.